episode number 19 of Honey Radio. This is Kat the Head Honey, and here with me today is the writer, director, producer of several films that we've had the pleasure of reviewing at thehorrorhoneys.com, including The Fields, 6 Degrees of Hell, Dead TV, also known as Camp Dread now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the upcoming Zombie Killers Elephant's Graveyard. So please welcome Harrison Smith to the show. So thank you so much for joining me, Harrison. This is awesome and super last minute.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.
No, we've been talking for quite a while now about your films, and I can't even remember how it started, to be honest.
I don't know if it went all the way back to The Fields or not.
I think so, because I reviewed The Fields forever ago, so that might have been it?
Yeah, The Fields was 2009.
Okay. So yeah, I think that was the first one of your films that I watched, and then I ended up watching 6 Degrees of Hell, and now Camp Dread. I really like the other title better.
I did too.
I know you do too.
The title change was not my idea. I had no control.
I know. So how do you feel about how that kind of went? As far as, I mean, I know it's great to have the film have distribution and get it out there, but how do you feel personally about it? I know you put a lot of yourself into your films.
Well, I think the problem is, and I don't even know if it's a problem. For me, it's a problem, and maybe I am the problem. And I think I'm a film snob is part of the problem. I can appreciate so bad it's good entertainment. I mean, you know, I love cheese. I just saw somebody tweeted today a still from John Frankenheimer's 1979 monster movie called Prophecy, which I absolutely love. It's one of the worst motion pictures ever made, and but I love every minute of it. So, but I think the problem that I felt was, and kind of what Camp Dread talks about, is I think we've become so dumbed down as whether a nation or a globe that the title Camp Dread, when Image came to me and said, we're changing the title to Camp Dread, I'm like, of all the freaking things you could call it, you're calling it something that sounds like it's double billing with the monster that ate Cleveland or something, you know? Then I said, well, then it's going to get confused with Club Dread, and everybody's going to think it's a sequel to Club Dread, which wasn't that great of a flick either, although I love Super Troopers.
Yeah, it was fun.
And so all I got from them was, trust us. So I did, I trusted them. I mean, they know what's going to go to move units, and that's what they want. I never liked Dead TV. The reason why I didn't is because it just sounded too ham-fisted, and also it's going to confuse people, because I did have people go, oh, is it a reality show? Oh, is it a TV show? No, it's a movie about a reality. Then when you got to start explaining stuff, so I wasn't opposed to a title change. It was just the title of Camp Dread, and then I saw their artwork, and quite frankly, I did say to them, my investor felt the artwork looked like the cover of an R.L. Stine book, and there's not a single damn tent in the whole movie.
I was going to mention that tagline, but you did it.
Oh yeah, and then of course, pitch your tent, dig your grave. When I heard all of that, I remember I talked to acquisitions, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And they were like, trust us. We know, but this is going to work. This is what will happen. And you know what? It's kind of like when you make a song for a musician. You get it sold, you put it out there. It's what they do with it. So I had to trust them. I mean, I got to say right now, we're at number 51, I think. We were up at 46 this morning. We're at 51 on Amazon. People are already asking for a prequel or a sequel to it. It's doing well. It's everywhere. It's in Vudu. It's on Netflix. It's in Redbox. It's on iTunes. It's all over the place. So, maybe Image knows what they're doing. And I really like them. I think they're an upstanding company, and they put up with my crap. When I called about the artwork and the title, they were like, Harrison, you need to take it down a notch. You need to calm down. We'll get through this. And you know what? It just came down to that you got to trust them. And I like them. I think their PR unit was fantastic. And I love Mark Ward over there, Allison Gruber. They're good people. And I just had to calm my jets is really what it was.
Calm your tits, Harrison.
Calm my tits,
yeah.
Yes.
So what, oh God, Okay, so what I really liked in Camp Dread, oh god, that makes me weird saying it, is all the different kills. I really, really love all the different kills because they're unique. I mean, I've always joked about ripping someone's arm off and beating them to death with it, but I've never actually seen it. So that was quite lovely.
Well, we give hints throughout the movie, too. Like, when they're arguing on the beach and one of the characters says, what do you want? How about I beat you with your fake leg? What are you going to do? Beat me with your fake leg?
Yeah.
Well, let's hope nobody loses their head. I know that a review recently posted, and I totally agreed with it, from Little Miss Horror Nerd, that choking and drownings are no-nos in slashers. Well, one was necessitated by circumstances beyond my control and literally a last-minute script change, and the problem also is what the drowning isn't really a drowning. Hopefully, you saw when they're dragging the one person on the dock, the thing gets caught, and so it's not really all a drown. There's some blood and gore with that.
Yeah.
But the one choking one, yes, that had to be, and I knew that, but I had no choice.
Well, I don't understand why there are no-nos in a slasher film. I mean, I know a slasher is supposed to be like blood, guts, gore, blah, boobs, but I really liked that choking scene. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Brian Gallagher's a phenomenal character actor. I want him to just, I love him to be like Emmett Walsh or somebody like that, because he just should be in everything, and he's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think why I liked it, it's a death that happened that wasn't perpetuated by anybody else. That's a shit happened death. Yeah. So it's something that tragically happened but wasn't planned. So I liked it. I don't know. I think death in general is pretty much fair game in a slasher film anyway. So. Yeah.
And I think we deliver enough blood and gore the rest of the way to show that, we're definitely a slasher. I mean, there's no doubt we're a slasher, but,
Well, yeah.
There's
hard to
meat
get away
hooks
from
and
that.
Right, there's meat hooks and machetes and barbed wire, and I think we delivered.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. The final kill is, I think, the best thing I've ever seen.
We wanted it to be a little bit more elaborate, but we were so constrained by budget and time. But I think we got out of it the most we could, and you got to admit, it's a pretty good kill.
It's awesome. I think my favorite part about it is how excited she is about it.
Oh yeah.
That's
her dialogue at the end is good.
Yes, definitely. Because I would be doing the same thing. One line that I wrote down in my notes as I was watching is, "I'll work conventions until I die before I work with you again." Now, I want to know what you think about conventions.
Well, I mean, I wish they would have had them when I was a kid. Star Trek conventions were just starting. I've been to them. I went with Danielle Harris to one, and I think they're great. I know that, I guess what that line really means is, I don't think there's any shame in doing conventions. I don't think it's bottom feeding at all. I think the problem really rests with, sometimes the people that go there that are absolutely rude to the people that participate in the convention. Some of the stuff that comes out of their mouths that they say to these stars, and they act like, well, I paid $6 to watch your movie, so I can say whatever the hell I want. Mm-hmm. And I just think there should be, there's no manners for some people, or no boundaries even. I watch people come in with literally, I'm not kidding you, suitcases full of memorabilia for these stars to sign, while there's other people waiting in line. Like, if you're a collector and selling and all of that stuff, then make arrangements with the convention manager beforehand and the celebrity. But you put the celebrity on the spot, and, I just think that the celebrities put up with a lot. And then on top of, there's always the pitfalls of conventions that don't pay or skip out on payments. And the celebrities do this to go out and reach their fans and meet their fans. And I think that's a really generous, great thing that these people are doing. And I get people going, they get paid. Not all the time. And, sometimes these people, these celebrities, they're minor parts in a film. And, like, for example, a great character actor, Sean Whalen, told me he was in People Under the Stairs and on Lost, and he goes to these, and he said sometimes the stuff that comes out of people's mouths is just downright beyond rude. It's just, what do you have no social life that you know you're really not supposed to speak to people this way, that it's just very off-putting? And I feel badly about that. I sat with Tommy Lee Wallace of Halloween 3 fame at a convention a while back, about maybe 6 months ago. And some of the stuff that people came up and said to him, I was embarrassed for those people. You know, so the convention thing in the film is not really a slam against conventions, but, you know, what it's saying is that John Hill would rather put up with that kind of abuse and the stalker fans than deal with Julian Barrett. So how bad is that?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got from it as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I love conventions, but...
Well, I do too.
I don't know. And I hate saying that horror fans are weird, but horror fans are weird.
Well, but you know, a lot of fans are weird. You have, you know, you have people that, you know, that go to the Star Trek ones, and I think William Shatner's SNL skit is an all-time classic. That when he just goes, "Get a life," you know, that was just brilliant. But you know, I don't know if it's just even cons, but in general, it seems that overall, at least in America, the public is lacking class. It's lacking manners is really what it is. I mean, people have said stuff to Danielle and Danielle's had stalkers and a lot of stars have. Heather Langenkamp has. Yeah. A number of these people have, and why? You know, like, just go and tell them, you provided me a good memory and I enjoyed you in this movie. I know you're not the character. I know you don't know everything about the movie. You know, what was Wes Craven wearing on the third Tuesday of the month when you shot this scene with, you know, Robert Englund? You know, and those kind of people kind of, they're mojo killers. That's a good word for it. They kill the fun and the spirit of what a con should be.
Yeah, it makes them, I mean, they're exhausting regardless, so I don't know. I always feel bad, but I mean, me at conventions, I'm like a big giant derp. I like go up and I'm like, I really love your movie.
Yeah, I do that too. I still get, when I met Adrienne Barbeau for the first time, I was like, die. Like, what do I say? I mean, here's, you know, Billy from Creepshow and, you know, Maggie from Escape from New York and most of all, Stevie Wayne from The Fog. And, you know, I'm just blown away by it. And most of all, because it's not that I'm starstruck. I know they're not aliens or God or something like that. But they represent that part of your life that you have so many good memories with that, you know, when you come face to face with that person who helped provide a great memory. I still remember the first night I saw The Fog at a drive-in, and I loved it. It was a good time of my life. So that's what I think gets blurred, you know, that I like thanking people. Thank you for great memories and making good product and having a great craft and being a professional.
Perfect answer. What else was I going to say? We did an interview a while ago, and I asked you what horror film character you would want to be reincarnated as. And I want
that was a really interesting question.
Thank you. And I want to explore that a little bit more because you said you wanted to come back as Freddy or the Invisible Man.
But I wouldn't kill people.
Oh man.
No, I mean, come on. You can make a great porn out of, you know. Why would I waste my time killing people when I can have all the freaking sex I want with any way I want it, and I don't get caught because it's all a dream? I wouldn't be killing him. There he is. I mean, something tells me that Freddy had trouble with, you know, a little erectile dysfunction because I'd be banging those girls. You get all these girls in their panties and underwear and all this stuff and naked in these dreams, and what does he do? Well, I'll kill him. You know, it's like, what? No way.
Oh, my God.
Or I'd like to be the shark from Jaws just to scare the living hell out of people. I wouldn't eat them, but I would love just to see a bunch of people playing, you know, surf and, you know, playing in the surf and all of a sudden just poke my fin out of the water and head toward him and just be like, psych, and just turn away at fast. You know, that'd be fun.
I think I've seen that in a cartoon where the shark was swimming along just going dun 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 dun. Nah, just kidding.
Right. Psych.
Well, I actually do want to discuss the whole porn thing, too. Just because of the no consequences kind of stuff.
Sure.
You've seen Hollow Man, yes?
I have seen Hollow Man.
Okay. Because that's the Invisible Man that I like. Because he's very dark, and he gets away with everything. Including
sex.
Well,
and he gets to undress Elizabeth Shue, and who's arguing with that? I still want to work with her. If she ever listens to this podcast, I want to work with Elizabeth Shue so badly. I've had a crush on her since Adventures in Babysitting. Like the rest of the heterosexual males of the 80s, yes.
Oh, man, 80s problems.
Yes.
Dear Elizabeth Shue.
I want to F with the babysitter, yes.
Did you just censor yourself on my show?
Well, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Can I say everything?
Yes.
Well, then I want to fuck with the babysitter.
Oh, Harrison. Oh, my God. Okay, so social media. You have a lot of opinions about social media. A lot of very vocal opinions about social media, and I quite enjoy them. So how many social media little bits do you run? Do you run all of the Twitters for all of your films?
I don't run them all. We do have people that do run them. But I pop on quite a bit because, you know, it's the Virgo control freak in me that if you're going to want something done right, do it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pop on quite a bit. Most people, I don't ever really advertise a lot that it's me. Like, you know it's me.
Yeah.
But we do have other people that log on and tweet.
Okay. So you do... Okay, so you have a Twitter account for each of your films. Now, what happens to these movies, like The Fields? I mean, that came out in 2009, and the Twitter account just goes kind of dormant. What... Like, do you still push things social media-wise for your previous films?
It depends. Usually it's just a matter of time. And, you know, when people are doing this stuff for you for free, it's not always the easiest thing to keep the movie accounts current.
Yeah. I find that, I mean, I love following films that I enjoy, and then later I'm like, and the movie's out, they've made their money, and now they're saying nothing.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean... You know, I've seen that even with big films where, you know, their websites don't get updated anymore. Mm-hmm. And it just happens. And it's just a byproduct of it because, you know, really what you need is a budget to hire a full-time social media staff. You know, if I were Kim Kardashian or something like that and somebody tweets for me, that would be great.
That's what interns are for.
Right.
You don't have to pay them.
That's right.
So, yeah, So still on the social media train, one of the quotes that I nabbed out of our interview was something about getting off the llama porn.
Hang on, you're gonna walk with me as I do my dog's lunch here.
Okay, so. Just don't take me to the bathroom. That's all I ask.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, the llama porn. Well, what I meant by that was you know, when you have people like you're out there and you're tweeting and you're doing all your stuff and. You know, you're asking people to click on a link and, you know, you get these answers back like, well, I'll see, if I have time. It's like, what do you mean if you have time? What are you talking about if you have time? You're sitting on Twitter, for God's sake. You know, what do you mean if you have time? Just freaking click the link. And, you know, when you see people shilling for follows, like that's why we go on our rant about products. You know, that's why we go nuts on it because it's like, you know, freaking Miracle Whip has 200,000 followers. What the fuck is Miracle Whip saying today? Like, do people get up and actually check their Twitter feed and go, oh, and somebody goes, well, sometimes they give coupons. Go to the fucking website and get a coupon. You know? Really? Like, what is Miracle Whip going to tweet today? What will be so fascinating from the makers of Miracle Whip or Oreos or, you know, I don't understand any of that. And that's the part of social media that really, you know, that's the part of me where it's like, you know what, cue the asteroid. We're dead. You know, we're done as a race. We're done. We're done as an entire species when we're following what Tide detergent has to say, or, you know, and when you look and you see that Tide literally has over 100,000 people or something, and you're going, here I am tweeting my heart out, you know, we're posting pictures, we're taking photos from the set, we're doing all this stuff, and you get, well, let me see what I can do. Oh, yeah, but make sure you click on, you know, your Nike account. Make sure you follow that, because you're going to get a lot of gratification out of that, you know? Yeah. So that's my thing about, I said llama porn because it's like, well, you might as well be watching that, you know? Like, what else are you doing? So.
And fair enough. Like, fair enough. Okay, so if someone was going to come to you and say, sell me Camp Dread, why would I want to watch this? What would you tell them?
Well, you like to watch TV, right?
That's it? That's your pitch?
That's the first pitch. The first pitch is you like to watch. The second pitch is we put a great spin on this film, I think. Look, we could have gone and made the typical slasher, the psycho run amok at the summer camp movie, and we could have got away with it. All I was given as a directive by my investor was I want boobs, blood, and ass. That's what I want. So
that seems pretty
when you have the
par for the
standard
course.
set so low. That's why I love when you read some of these reviews. Well, they could have aimed a little higher. Really? Okay, well, I'm sure we could have, but I think we gave a pretty cool, you know, spin on the genre without taking the low road. So what I would say to sell this or pitch this is it's smart, it's intelligent, it's witty, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and most of all, if you ever went to summer camp, it's just a lot of fun, and that's what a horror movie should be. No, I mean, some are real heavy, and I get all of that. I mean, but even The Exorcist has a sense of humor.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? And so I want people to enjoy. I want them to – look, some of the lines, like I remember one review, the dialogue is terrible. It's supposed to be. We're doing – and then Smith has obviously never seen a slasher in his life. No, I only grew up in the 1980s. And I never saw Sleepaway Camp. That's why, you know, I only cast Felissa Rose in that, because I've never seen a slasher. And, you know, the one death has nothing to do with, you know, Crazy Ralph's garroting at all. You know, and most of all, summer camp that could have easily been Arawak or Crystal Lake. No, I've never seen a summer camp movie.
Yeah, no, never.
Shit. You know, it's like, holy hell, go back to your freaking blog and WordPress and enjoy, okay? Go make your movie with your prosumer, you know, camera from Best Buy. Holy shit.
Oh, I made you get ranty. Oh, cute.
No, I'm not ranting. I say that to you online.
No, it's good. It's good.
Funny, and I'm not saying this is you, but somebody else gets on my case too about it and says I'm ranting, but I'm not ranting.
I don't think you're ranting.
Know? I get passionate about things, but I'm definitely not ranting. Like a rant is, you know, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, Peter Finch Network style, you know. But I really feel that, you know, some people don't get worked up enough as it is, you know. When we're seeing remake after remake and people go, when will they stop making them? When we stop going to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't act like you're a victim here, you know.
You brought this on yourself.
Put it on yourself. That's exactly it. Then don't go see it. Don't go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then don't go see, you know, Let Me In. Then don't go see the next Friday the 13th remake. But you do, so they will.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess they feel that people are clamoring for them and need to see these things. And I mean, and once again, I mean, going back to Image, and they know what works and trust them. People know what works, and they know what was popular and what will sell.
Yep. I mean, let's look right now. Where is Camp Dread? I believe it or not, like I have it up on Amazon just to see where we're at. And
I do that with podcast stats. It's okay.
We are still holding at 51.
See, that's good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And that's over all of Amazon or just in the horror genre?
I think in the horror genre.
Okay, so what's above? What's above you right now? Like
Rosemary's Baby inched ahead of us and The Evil Dead.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially baby. The Evil Dead is the remake, though, so I don't know if that's so fair.
No, and I mean, the Rosemary's Baby is popular now because of the TV show that's coming out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that is the point of remakes, is to reawaken everyone's love of the originals.
So why not just re-release them in theaters and package them up nicely?
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
I would love that.
Imagine a studio putting some money in, like they used to. I mean, King Kong came out in 1933. I think they re-released it in 1952, and it made 3 times as much money as when I know people say, well, inflation. Well, yeah, but...
How does inflation have anything to do with it?
Right. I mean, so ticket prices were a dime in 1933, and now, that's why. My dog was going crazy at the door, and there's somebody out by my pond fishing.
Oh. Where are your perimeter guns?
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, I think they should do that. Re-release movies. And because, look, as well as I do, Kat, some movies are meant to be seen on the big screen, and that's it. Yeah. Raiders of the Lost Ark does not translate well to a 25-inch flat screen or a tablet. You need to see Raiders of the Lost Ark on the big screen, and that's all there is to it. That's what it was made for. Yeah. Jaws is the same way.
Yeah, I agree.
So what would be so wrong? But, look, I get it. Hindsight's 20/20. Back in the day, the video revolution kicks in, and, of course, studios want to make a fuck ton of cash. So you quickly take your big releases and you dump them out on VHS and beta, and you let the money roll in. And then only afterwards, it's kind of like, an alcoholic binge where the next day you go, I did what? Where it's like, shit, we could have kept milking Jaws. I mean, they did re-release Jaws. They did, I think, in 80. I think it was 1980 they re-released it.
I know. I own an anniversary edition re-release.
Yeah. But
I can't remember what anniversary is. 35th anniversary, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know theatrically Universal did get behind a major theatrical re-release, and I think it was like 1980. I know Jaws 2 was re-released. Hopefully we'll never see a theatrical re-release of Jaws 3 or 4, but, who knows?
Okay, well, if you could remaster and remake and re-release a classic film, what would you choose?
See, that's the thing. What would I choose? I would, hang on one second here. I would like to go back and remake a bad one, is what I would like to do. Like, imagine if you went back and people are so worried about why are you screwing with remaking the good ones? Why not go back and take a crappy installment from one of the sequels and make that? Like, imagine making a good Jaws 3. Imagine making a good Jaws the Revenge, which the first step you would do is not call it Jaws the Revenge. But imagine you could go back and reset the timeline. Now that is something, I mean, and I know people go, but wait a minute, I love that movie. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, by no account, even the own studios would never stand by Jaws 3. They would never stand by Jaws the Revenge. It's not like, it was a movie like even Camp Dread where, if we had a couple $1 million, we could have done far more. Could Camp Dread use a remake? Sure. I'd remake it. If I had $5 million, I could make a slick, glossy, star-studded movie. I could do that, sure. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, that's what I would do. So would I go back and remake any big-budget classic? No. I don't think there's any need for it. Unless it was something like, I understand why they did The Shining. I think I've told you this. I enjoy The Shining. I appreciate The Shining. I think The Shining is very bizarre and very creepy. I also think it's extremely overrated and extremely slow and very boring. And if it wasn't for Jack Nicholson's performance, the movie would have disappeared into obscurity. That's what I think. I know people go, oh, you just don't know horror. Yeah, I do know horror.
Well, I think that's Kubrick fans,
the movie
too.
Overall, as an adaptation from the book, is like nothing.
Yeah.
So I understand why they made the miniseries, which didn't fare well at all. I was going to say The Shining did well. So I can understand that if you want to go back and do like they still haven't done Salem's Lot right.
Mm-hmm.
They still haven't done, although I like the 1979 miniseries just for its 70s cheese factor. But the 2004 remake was not done right, and it was very cynical. And I got to ask all the time, like when they remake these things, why did they have to make the priest a pedophile? Why do we got to do that? You know, I mean, and it's not over that I'm offended. It's just, it's such a cheap move.
Yeah.
You have vampires. We really need pedophiles? Really? That's what we need to have vampires. Isn't that enough? It's kind of like the Amityville films. I don't care what anybody says. There has never been a good Amityville movie. None of them. They're bad. They're badly made with poor production value. And except for the slick 2004 remake, which still didn't get it right. You have all these ghosts. Do we really need somebody picking up an axe and chasing the family at the end? Where are the goddamn ghosts? I paid for the Amityville Horror. I want to see ghosts. If I want to see George Lutz running around threatening his family with an axe, well, then I'd go see an axe murderer movie.
Exactly.
Right? I want to see ghosts. Why does the damn house have to blow up at the end all the time? You know? We have all these ghosts and demons and all this stuff. Oh, I know. Let's get the audience by blowing up the fucking house. That should work. And it's like, I would go back and follow the Amityville book, which is damn scary. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not getting into that. What I'm saying is it worked. The book works. Why didn't somebody just adapt the damn book?
Mm-hmm. And they're doing a new one now too.
I heard that. Yeah.
Blumhouse is doing it, and it's seriously like the 12th installment.
Yeah. Is it a remake of the original?
I don't know.
Or is it another like take on it? Isn't Jennifer Jason Leigh in it or something like that? Did I read that?
I don't think so. Hold on. Let's IMDb that shit.
Right. Here we are with all this technology. We're asking questions.
I think that's good. Bella Thorne, Cameron Monaghan. Oh, Jennifer Jason Leigh. You are correct.
I thought so.
See, I can't get into it. I never liked the Amityville story as it was, just because, I mean, it's based on a true crime. It's based on the actual story of a guy who killed his entire family and then blamed it on being possessed.
Right.
Which spawned the book, which spawned...
Well, when you read, Rick Osuna wrote a great book about the night the DeFeos died, and that would make a great film all on its own. And, you know, what I feel bad about that is the poor DeFeo family that has to go through this every time they release one of these damn films.
Yeah.
You know, and also the residents of Amityville. Every time they release one of these crappy movies, and I don't care what anybody says, you always get these Twitter response. You don't know horror. Yeah, I know horror, and I'm telling you, the Amityville Horror sucked. Rod Steiger's performance is terrible. And think about this. The 1979 film, you're supposed to have ghosts. What do we get? We get a puking nun. That's what we got to throw in? A puking fucking nun? Really? And everybody goes, oh, it's classic. What's classic about it?
There's
Bad
nothing
acting.
classic about that.
You see the boom mic. You see the boom shadow. What is so classic about this? And don't give me this so bad it's good bullshit.
Yeah,
that was a major blockbuster thing, and now people retcon that. Now they go back and go, no, it's just so bad it's good. It's not even so bad it's good. It's a lousy movie. It was a bad screenplay, badly directed. It was a quick knockoff to cash in on the craze that was going on at the end of the 70s over this book, and they didn't do it right.
Yep, I completely agree. And I don't understand the hype around it and why people are excited about it.
People get blind. It's kind of like the Halloween movies. Most of the Halloween films are not good.
No.
You've got the original, and I'm telling you, I'm going on the record, which I've done this, you know, on Twitter. Halloween 2 is a terrible film. Halloween 2, the 1981 Halloween 2, is a lousy motion picture. It's bad. It's like Son of Kong is what it's like. That's what it is. It was a quick cash-in. Carpenter is even disavowed it, but you get those rabid fans like, no, man, you don't know. It's good. End of story. No, it's not, and even its own creator has disavowed it. Okay? So, no, it wasn't good. And yet, you know, people have this blind following for things, and they don't use any critical thinking toward it. You know, they just... You know, my dog is right here.
Hi, puppy.
They just, blindly follow because, well, it's Michael Myers. I'll watch anything with Michael Myers. Really?
Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection? Really? Tyra Banks? Busta Rhymes?
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
That was so
and yet
awful.
you've got defenders out there.
I know.
I loved it. It's awesome. No, if that's your case of awesome, then please rip my movie apart because I'm glad you hate my movies. Please.
You don't deserve to like my movie.
You don't deserve it. If you think that stuff is good, please hate my films. Please. So.
Oh, I think that's fair. Oh my god. I know. There's this funny thing in the horror genre. It seems like there are all these films that you're supposed to love, and if you don't love them, then you're not really a fan.
Right, and that's not true. That's not true at all. Look, like I said, I'm not a fan of The Shining. I mean, I lie. It's not that I'm not a fan of The Shining. I just don't think The Shining is as great as people believe. I think The Shining is a better memory than it is a film.
Yeah.
And I know all this crap with, the documentaries and the hidden moon landing stuff.
Fuck, that documentary was such bullshit.
Right.
Ugh.
I can extrapolate anything from anywhere
exactly.
and make up what I want.
Given enough time and barbiturates, I can pull anything out of anything. Like, give me a fucking break. I live tweeted that documentary, and I got so much shit from Kubrick fans, it wasn't even funny. Like, personal attacks about how great Kubrick was, and I'm a big fucking idiot.
Well, and that's it. You get all of that. No, you don't appreciate Kubrick's genius. You don't get... And, most of this is coming from, somebody that's sitting on their parents' couch, living in their parents' house on the internet, paid for their parents. What world experience do you have? Just because you watch a lot of movies doesn't make you a filmmaker, and it doesn't make you a critic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see online on our Twitter feed. I mean, I think I love Scott Weinberg. I think he's a fantastic critic. I love his work. I love what he does. Here's a man who's educated in film, and he's not tearing things down. He tries to educate in his critiques. Mm-hmm. And yet you've got somebody going, Scott Weinberg, he's just a crabby old guy that never got to make movies. First of all, he's not an old guy. Number two, that's not it. But then you've got these people that think, well, just because I have a computer and a blog, I'm a film critic. I love on YouTube when you see the kids doing the, I don't have anything in front of me, but like I'll use my phone. Hey guys, hey everybody, I'm back with the review of Halloween 3. First of all, who's everybody? Your 12 viewers? who are we all waiting for? And you're reviewing Halloween 3, which was made before you were born, and you have no sense of anything about the film or the time that it was made whatsoever, and you're sitting on a couch, no lighting, no decoration. That's why I like Bloodbath and Beyond's review. They could have hated our movie, but damn it, they did it with good production value, good lighting, they did it with good editing, and they had a little bit of wit and charm, and most of all, they knew their content.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Jason and Sean of We Came From the Basement, one liked Camp Dread, one did not. The one who did not, perfectly founded, well-grounded criticism. It's not that you didn't like my movie and I don't like you. I perfectly get why they didn't, but they supported it in a conscious and, educated way. And just, again, because you sit in front of a laptop or you're on your tablet and you can write, I liked it, I didn't like it. What does that mean? I've seen great reviews on my films that really don't mean much to me because it's like you didn't obviously get anything that I was going for. I don't want to hear that you love Eric Roberts or Cloris Leachman is awesome. I want to hear what was it about her performance that heightened this film. Just because you like somebody, and most of all, I can't stand when somebody says, well, I don't like Eric Roberts. Do you know him? You don't like him. You don't like his work? That's okay. But be a little bit more educated in your response. Did Eric Roberts take money from you? Did he kill your puppy?
Eric Roberts, puppy killer.
What does that mean? I don't like something. And I know people will listen to this will be like, oh, geez, lighten up. But I really think what it should be is a lot of people should smarten up.
I agree.
I think there's just too many goddamn dumb people out there. That's what I think. And you know what? You've got listeners going right now that are going, amen. And then ones that aren't, they're the dumb ones.
They're the dumb ones, yeah.
Well, is he talking about me? who's this guy think he is? I'm a filmmaker, and I'm out there and I'm doing it.
No, I completely agree, and it's always my little thing. I always like to bring something more to it, especially when, like a film like The Fields. I mean, that was a very, very tenuous point in American history. It was a very, very high tension time in America's persona, and it shows in the film, and I think people that don't understand that just won't fucking get it.
Well, they don't. And unfortunately, the distribution company marketed that as a horror, and it's not a horror film.
No, it's suspense.
Right. And as I said in a previous interview with you folks, that, I wasn't 100% happy with the final outcome of The Fields. I think it's a quality film. I think it's good. And I think overall it's very loyal to my grandparents. Mm-hmm. But it is not the movie I would have made. And I only produced and wrote it. I did not direct it. I understand some of the directorial choices, but I can't say I agreed with them all. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing I haven't told the directors. I'm not talking crap about them before anybody goes, oh, is that what you do? You talk crap about your... No, they already know. And it, then again, there's people that absolutely love what they did. But that's the point. You put it out there, and it's up for the public to decide. You'll have some people who love it. And I'm not looking for everybody to love my film. 6 Degrees of Hell got hammered by the reviews when it came out. But now it's starting to turn around. It's getting rehabilitated. Now people are like, wow, it's kind of, I see what they were going for with the Hammer stuff and the Universal stuff. It's like, yeah, it's called history. We're very much aware of things. If you're looking for the straight-up Paranormal Activity film, you're not going to get that from me.
Yeah, no. I would hope not. Please don't ever do that.
No, 6 Degrees of Hell was a Valentine to old horror, to classic 80s and 60s and 30s horror. That's all it was. And I didn't direct it. That was Joe Raffa, who I felt did a great job with it. And, it's a little confusing. That's part of budget restrictions. We shot that movie for $150,000. So...
It's so funny. Money terms, and when you come to movies is such a funny thing. I had another guest on that was saying that it's like, I have all this money, I could buy a house, but I'm going to make a movie instead. And that's not very much money to make a movie.
Yeah.
It's such a funny juxtaposition between, values that you can put on these. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It just seems like a crazy amount of money to make something like that. What was I going to say? What was the horror movie that got you started on your love affair with horror?
Well, I think that goes back to The Fields. When I was a little boy, I used to watch horror movies with my grandmother all the time. So I love them. I love the classic Universal. I mean, by the time I was 8 years old, I knew who Peter Lorre was. I knew who Vincent Price was. I knew who all these people were. So I would love to say it was Jaws. Jaws made me want to make movies, but I don't really classify Jaws as a horror film. I think it's more of an adventure movie. There's some horror elements to it. However, I'm going to say Bride of Frankenstein probably would be one that made me go, wow, I really like these things, and Godzilla. I mean, but Godzilla is more science fiction. It's not really horror, although you could classify the 1954 as a horrible kind of event that takes place. I mean, it is a horror film for what those people went through in the real atomic bombings. Mm-hmm. And Godzilla taken out of its grade Z Americanization and put into the proper context of a 1954 Japanese monster movie. It's a very poignant film, and it's a very well done monster movie, giant monster film. It really is.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's really hard to take the history out of it.
Yes.
So for people to come at things and not understand the history, it frustrates the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like you just saw, I just read somewhere where somebody didn't even know that Paul Lynde was dead, and they nominated, or I guess Seth MacFarlane won, the best gay character of the century is the alien from American Dad, whose voice is an impression of the late Paul Lynde. And somebody was looking at a YouTube video of Paul Lynde, and I saw the comments that said, well, Paul Lynde copied, Roger the alien. And I'm like, well, if he did, bravo, because Lynde's dead since the 80s. You jackass. Did you bother to look at the date of the Hollywood Squares, and it was 1978? That's what I mean. Lazy and stupid have we become, And then to put yourself out there and broadcast your stupidity, that's the wonder of social media.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And I maintain, and I will always say this, that the internet is run by 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cue that meteor anytime. That would be great.
Yeah, anytime.
I love that you mentioned Bride of Frankenstein. That movie actually made me want to get into makeup. So.
Oh, Bride of Frankenstein is as good today as when it was made, 80 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
My God,
after we're done.
Fantastic movie.
Absolutely. After we're done, I'm totally going to put it on and watch it because.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only one of the, in my opinion, top 5 best horror films, but I would think it's like The Empire Strikes Back of sequels for horror. I mean, it just so improved on the first one and took it in such a different direction and set a tone for things to come from other films. And that was James Whale's genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yay. Okay, so I want to change track just because we're going to finish up so you can go on with your day. Zombie Killers.
Yes.
Tell me about Zombie Killers.
Zombie Killers is a lot of fun. I was charged with making a zombie film from Jeff Traynor, our executive producer, and I sat for an hour trying to talk him out of it. I said, you don't want to make a zombie movie? And he said, why? I said, I can sum up every episode of The Walking Dead in a single sentence. People argue, zombies attack. There it is. I'm not saying right away you're going to get all the Walking Dead people going, F him, we're not watching it now.
Whatever.
No, that's not it at all. It's just simply, Walking Dead is beautifully made, it's well done, but let's face it, it's not really breaking a lot of ground because, in my opinion, the zombie film really can't break a lot of ground. George Romero broke, I think, probably all that there is, and everything else is kind of a revisit, a rehash, a tribute, a tip of the hat, whatever. But I think George Romero made the quintessential zombie movies, and I think that's it. Zombie movies, to me, are kind of like the NASCAR of horror. You know where they begin, you know where they end. They go around, and you hope for a couple of exciting crashes in between.
Drive fast,
That's
turn left.
What you hope.
Yeah.
So, Zombie Killers is more of an American Western. We tried to inject a different type of genre into it. It's more action. I will not say Zombie Killers is a horror film. We have incredible performances from Billy Zane, from Dee Wallace. Misha Barton is fantastic in this movie. And I'm really, really excited about the effects. We got Angie Johnson to do the makeup effects, and she worked very hard to give us different-looking kind of zombies, because our zombies, our plague is predicated upon the fracking industry. Mm-hmm. So Angie crafted her zombies to come from what the fracking industry has wrought upon us. You got to admit, most zombie movies as of late, even the zombies have become cliche.
Yeah.
You have the missing bottom jaw zombie. You have the half torso with the spinal column hanging out zombie. We have the zombie with any various number of tools stuck in its skull zombie. That's what we have, so we avoided all of that. And the real premise of the movie is truly a message to your listeners right now, and that is, get out and live. Existing is one thing, and that is comfort, living in comfort and never taking a risk or a chance. Because I don't know about Canada, we've become a nation of pussies, is what we've become down here. We're allergic to everything. We're afraid of everything. There's pedophiles everywhere, according to Nightline, sexual predators. Terrorists are going to get us at every move. I'm not saying that those threats aren't out there, because you get some, what was Boston? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you can't wake up every damn day living in fear and afraid to go outside your house and sitting on the internet and criticizing other people to live through what they're doing. And that's what this movie is really about. These people, they're trapped behind this community fence, and really the message is they got to get out of there. Not to hide and keep the zombies away. They got to go out into the zombies. They've got to go out because, yes, there may be death. Yes, there may be failure. But you know what? That's life. And that's why the opening title card on the film, it says, life goes by while we're waiting to live.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that thing that passes you by while you're waiting to do shit. No, I love it. That's a great seller for it. So when can we expect Zombie Killers? When can I expect a screener in my inbox?
I think you can expect a screen. I can tell you this. Definitely you will have a screener. A screener will be ready by the end of this month.
Sorry, no one can see my face, but I'm like, ah!
Right, we're in rabid negotiations right now with a couple big-time distributors. So I have to wait until that's all settled. But I know we're talking about a late September release.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm making notes.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. No, that's super exciting. And you have a trailer out. Are you releasing any other teasers or trailers or anything like that?
Yeah, there'll be more coming. Absolutely. So it's we're going to have different types of trailers. The first one we did was just to kind of emphasize a little of the action, to show that it's not just a talking zombie movie where everybody talks. I thought that was one of the biggest downfalls of Exit Humanity. It was a noble effort, but just talks way too damn much. Move it along. Not a bad film, just
boring.
Not the zombie movie I would have made.
Well, I'm glad you're getting a chance to make a zombie movie that you would actually watch.
Well, it's funny, when we were making Camp Dread, on set, Charlie Anderson, our director of photography, said, "Would you ever make a zombie movie?" I'm like, hell no, I wouldn't make a zombie movie. He's like, why? I said, because they're lame. There's nothing to them. It's how hard is it to make a zombie movie, And I said, and that's the movie snob in me. I'm not saying they're all lame. I mean, there's some fantastic ones. One of my favorites is Shockwaves by Ken Wiederhorn. Holy cow, with Peter Cushing in it.
Oh,
check it out.
Okay.
Shockwaves. Love it. Brooke Adams and Peter Cushing are the big stars in it.
Well, anything with Peter Cushing is all right by me, so.
Yeah, he's got a small role, but it's good. I mean, he classes the whole thing up,
I don't think he can do anything but that. Doesn't matter what he's doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, he brings legitimacy to it. But it's good, and the zombies are good in it, because they're a different kind of zombie. They don't eat you. And so on set, Charlie was like, I think you just don't like him because you couldn't write one. So I wrote this treatment for one, and it sat on my computer for a year, and then all of a sudden Jeff came along, and, well, here we are. Now it's out. It's done.
That's awesome.
Strange how things happen.
It is, definitely. So do you have anything new in the works right now?
Yeah, sure, I do. I never like to name exactly what I'm doing because things can fall through, and then you always get somebody going, I thought you said you were going to be doing this.
Well, yeah, shit happens. Never.
Right. But most people don't understand that. You and I get that, but most people don't get that.
But you promised.
But yes, there's several projects in the works right now, and we're going to see what happens. Yeah, I hope to be shooting this October again.
Awesome. Now, I know in the interview that we did, you were talking about you had a witch-based script coming up, and then you got the rights to a book as well?
Yeah, Adrienne Barbeau's book called Love Bites.
Okay.
It's kind of like a vampire noir kind of story, which really was kind of cool. She brought a real fresh kind of take onto it. It's a sequel to her best-selling book called The Vampires of Hollywood. And when I read the book, I thought, now this is fun. It's like L.A. Confidential meets Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And now I'm not going to ask you which one you're shooting, so I'm very excited to see whatever it is.
Yeah, as soon as the money locks, then of course I'll tell you. I just never like to crow until the egg is laid.
Of course.
There's all these people, and then I'm working on this, and my IMDb has that, and most of these projects are crap.
Yeah. Straight to video.
Right.
Or straight to video on demand now.
My movies are straight to video, so.
Not for long. You did have a release for Camp Dread This week? Was it this week?
Yeah, and in London they're going to be screening it as well, too.
I saw that, too. That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I want to see what the Brits think.
Definitely. Yeah, and I'd love to bring it up here and screen it up here.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that off air.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Any final things that you want to say?
Sure. Rent Camp Dread, buy Camp Dread. There's my plug. It's a lot of fun. Danielle Harris, Eric Roberts, Felissa Rose. And if you went to summer camp, you need to see this movie.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to sit around and talk with me.
Yeah, let me know when this goes up.
It'll be up within the next, 20 minutes or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just have to do some edits and throw some music on it, and we're good.
All right. Well, it was a real pleasure, as always. And thank you for all of you for your support.
Oh, you're welcome. It's our pleasure. If we didn't like it, we wouldn't do it.
That is true. I've seen you be, all of you be merciless when you haven't liked something. So I'm glad I'm on your good side.
Yeah, me too. All right, Harrison, well, don't you go anywhere. And thank you again.
You got it.
So once again, thank you to Harrison Smith for joining me today. Now, you can find Harrison online. He is on the Twitters. He is on the Facebook. There are Twitter and Facebook accounts for each of his films. So you can find Camp Dread at Camp Dread, CampDread, and on Facebook under Camp Dread as well. You can find the Horror Honeys on the Twitter at Horror Honeys, HorrorHoneys, and you can find our website at thehorrorhoneys.com. You can find all of our podcasts on Podomatic, on Stitcher, and you can hear us live on Radio Fubar on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, or we talk about whatever the fuck we want. Thank you guys so much for listening, and hope to see you again soon. Bye!
I love to take my baby to a movie show, so I can try to smooch her while the lights are low. But she won't cuddle to a story of romance. There's only one way I've got a chance. It takes the Batman, Wolfman, Frankenstein, or Dracula to put her in the mood for love. It takes the cat, girl, dog, boy, creature from the Black Lagoon to make her feel like making love. It takes a monster